Let's face it, some individuals are unable to recognize when someone believes they have a grip on them, behaves as if you are their own, and fails to accept that you have moved on, while someone from your past lives on another planet and believes you miss them, while you can function without them. This is the height of delusion. Big energy is the ability to recognize when to leave someone who lacks self-control. Their entitlement is not your concern, and their surprise when you make the decision on your own is priceless. As you started to retreat from the influences that were poisoning your soul, the stars themselves called out your name. When something inside you snapped, the fog vanished instantly. That was your cosmic shield, and it triggered your divine protection mechanism. Recall how it felt. They did not expect you to wake up. I assumed you'd be spiritually numb eternally, taking crumbs of adoration while others feasted elsewhere. They expected your light would be dampened to make room for their shadow. However, something cosmic occurred inside of you. A spiritual switch that could never be turned off was activated. A latent celestial code has been revived in your DNA. A divine recollection ingrained in you the truth of who you are. Suddenly, what you had accepted and endured became unbearable, and everything you had ignored became painfully clear. You were almost brought to your knees by the clarity with which you viewed the problem, and the scales dropped from your spiritual eyes. Now pay attentively. Someone is desperately circling your energy field, much as a vulture might. They linger on the outside of your mind, shocked that you have created barriers that they cannot cross. Their lips open wide in surprise that you are no longer returning their calls. They roam the perimeter of your new force field, nervously looking for holes that have been filled. They send out energy probes, which are rejected by your higher vibration and bounce back. Bewildered that these spiritual weapons suddenly disintegrate before reaching their intended victim. They aim to use the same deceptive tactics that have previously proven successful. This object existed in a world where you were a constant. Always there, always forgiving, always coming back. Even when others derided your heavenly nature, their whole universe was created around your unwavering availability. They are now facing a quantum impossibility. You are physically on the same planet, but are electronically disconnected. You exist in the same dimension, but at a frequency that others cannot detect. You are in the same period, but you have progressed quicker than anybody can imagine. But what took its place? They are now suffering the cosmic whiplash of your absence. You progressed, excelled, and ascended. Being conscious of what they've lost is causing their spiritual DNA to unravel. Every morning when they wake up, your name continues to ring in their thoughts, and every night they stare up at the ceiling, reliving recollections of you like faded photos. This individual now surrounds oneself with discourse like divine equivalence and destiny. They claim to have had a spiritual awakening, discovered cosmic connections, and identified dual energies all at once. What they don't want you to understand is that genuine spiritual advancement does not happen when someone loses something important. Their enlightenment is little more than a spiritual seduction. Cosmic love bombing is intended to reignite your energy. It does not make its claim just because the consequences are clear. They have persuaded themselves that they have changed and have calmed down from their earlier frantic behavior. They think you would recognize this incredible metamorphosis and return to their land if you could only see them today. They did not realize you could now see everything. Your challenges have broadened your spiritual viewpoint. You may view not just their physical appearance, but also all of their possible incarnations throughout history. None of them align with your spiritual destiny. This creature has the audacity to assume that they are your intended spouse, that they are entitled to your energy in some way, and that your paths are fated to cross again. The cosmos is working to put you back together so you may awaken and return. Their anxiety suggests that you, too, are a good fit. Is the pattern evident to you? Every belief refers to you as their property. Their worldview suggests spiritual entitlement rather than a heavenly connection. They've created a whole artificial universe in which you have free will, only to select them in the end. In the meanwhile, you've surpassed everyone's expectations. You live in realms that others cannot comprehend. You vibrate at frequencies that others cannot detect. Your spiritual transformation wasn't gradual. Instead, it exploded. A cosmic rebirth has altered your energy signature, a divine intervention that reactivated dormant heavenly genes in your spiritual DNA, a supernova of self-realization that altered your whole psyche. Please be informed that this message is just for those who receive the call. As I hurried over the salvia barrier, I realized the horrible fact. Neither am gateway. Our reality is only one harvested pod among many matrices. Do you already know this information? I saw the archons, cosmic parasites that feed off human energy, laughing and menacing. You will never awaken a single soul if you keep believing that you have been selected and are meant to be greater than the creature they previously dominated. Doesn't look like the person you are now, where you formerly battled. You are now firm in your convictions, which you previously questioned. You now state where you were previously questioned. You now know. Your aura now exudes self-validation rather than seeking approval from others. Your energy no longer responds to lower vibrations. Whatever occurs, it keeps its high frequency. Your spiritual immune system no longer tolerates poisonous connections, and manipulation attempts are immediately rejected before they reach your consciousness. Individuals with entitlement issues find it impossible to breach your boundaries. Your enthusiasm blinds those who manipulate others, yet your discernment is razor acute when it comes to those who make bogus promises. You've turned yourself into an impregnable fortress of self-love and divine protection. You transformed your wounds into wisdom. You turned anguish into power, and you've regained parts of yourself that were previously harmed by their deceit. The universe watches in astonishment as you choose your sacred duty above their desperate efforts to entice you back. Cosmic powers rejoice as you bravely pursue your actual goal, and celestial spirits delight as you realize your value goes beyond their narrow appraisal and this human. They cringe at something they cannot touch. They are now using all of their dishonest strategies and fabricating big tales about their transformation to minimize their betrayals. They're rewriting history by portraying themselves as misunderstood victims of circumstance rather than masterminds of tragedy. They will arrive out of nowhere, making grandiose statements and massive gestures. They'll proclaim that they've now realized the cosmic significance of what they've lost, and they'll claim to have had great spiritual insights about your connection, as if wearing a ring could somehow restore their power over your energy, as if your divinity can be confined and contained. Some would go so far as to propose marriage or legally binding agreements. They would claim perfect honesty while fabricating new lies. They will make vows of lifetime loyalty while their energy field is still brimming with connections to others. They would preach unconditional love while putting numerous limits. You're here for a reason. If you feel called, answer it. Click join to have access to exclusive material, in-depth insights, and a supportive community. This is not just a membership. It's an awakening. Begin your heavenly mission. Join the selected. They hope you won't find out. But let me tell you that nothing has really changed. The divine discloses the truth in cycles. The universe speaks by repetition. The universe communicates via patterns. And this guy's behavior has been consistent. Now, pay close attention. Use your improved spiritual vision to observe. Look behind the well-designed facade to the dynamic plan, which stays unchanged despite superficial modifications as they claim evolution. Nonetheless, they are, or continue to be, possessive giants. They talk about enlightenment, yet their spiritual imprint still reads as entitlement in cosmic language. They talk about transformation, yet their energy field remains filled with domination and control. They promote a makeover that is nothing more than spiritual makeup. Surface-level changes are designed to deceive the sight. However, you are no longer using normal frequencies. Your vision sees beyond all masks, disguises, and pretenses. The same thing that damaged your confidence is hiding behind the pretense of change. The same strength that brought you to your knees is hidden under the boasts of expansion, and the same penchant for plurality simmers beneath the exclusive pledges. Their spiritual DNA still has the same patterns. Its energy profile still indicates possession rather than partnership, and its core frequency has not changed. What they call connection is actually an attachment. Destiny is desperation, while love is obsession. They remember how your energy made them feel, rather than your unique energy. They yearn for the image of themselves that they once saw in your eyes, not for your own soul. They would rather possess a spiritual asset than collaborate with a sovereign human. What really frightens them is your newly gained clarity, your extraordinary capacity to see through their lie, and your heavenly vision, which pierces their veil like celestial lightning. Nowadays, you detect changes before they are completely implemented. You detect dishonesty before words are said, and you feel entitled to demands beyond their knowledge and control. Your spiritual intellect has grown. This explains why their words do not reach you. Their energy does not interact with yours, and they are no longer able to touch you. You implemented protection mechanisms that they do not grasp. Anything that does not align with your frequency of truth is now instantly rejected by your energy. Attempts to manipulate are instantly noticed. A is neutralized by your spiritual immune system. Your cosmic borders operate with absolute accuracy and without conscious effort. While this monster continues to fantasize of recovering you, you have developed immunity to lesser vibrations. If your heart is full of God's blessings, let that love shine. Click the Super Thank You button and contribute $10 or more to plant seeds of faith that will save countless lives. Your generosity symbolizes His riches. Be a conduit for His grace and see His kingdom expand through you. The universe is arranging splendor beyond your imagination. Do you sense it? That is heavenly expectancy, not horror. That's a little electric charge coursing through your veins to make room for your development. The universe is transforming reality itself. Stars are moving, histories are changing, and sequences and dimensions are growing. Portals customized to your exact frequency. Nothing in your trip is random. Your excursion is far from ordinary. Consider how your future is shaped by what others can see. Meditating on your genuine purpose reduces the barrier between worlds. Standing solid in your power breaks down the boundaries between potential and manifestation, while acknowledging your special nature removes the constraints that ordinary beings face. New collaborations arise that will respect your sovereignty rather than attempt to steal it. New possibilities occur, allowing you to express yourself more freely. New realities occur, encouraging rather than limiting your evolution. The future that awaits you reflects the purpose that this connection would have suffocated. The path ahead of you is packed with opportunities that this person could never realize. The expansion at your disposal much outweighs the restriction they sought to impose. You are training for relationships with higher frequency people who understand your divinity without trying to convey it. Spirits that respect your power without fearing it, and energies who see that genuine connection stems from freedom rather than possession, as opposed to the never-ending struggle of the past. These new connection ships will seem easy. They will provide tranquility instead of tumult and progress. Instead of contraction, they will be defined by their respect for your limits and dedication to the truth, no matter how convenient it may be. Their unshakable constancy in words and behavior, as well as their respect for your independence rather than efforts to undermine it. The universe uses synchronicity to speak with you. These might be recurring numbers, symbols appearing in unexpected locations, or music playing at the appropriate time and delivering the exact message you need to hear. These are cosmic breadcrumbs that will direct you away from things that no longer serve you and toward things that are in line with your best potential. These are not coincidences. Examine the symptoms that arise when you consider ending this connection completely. Feel the relief that fills your body. Watch as your energy and vibration increase. These spiritual and physical feelings are heavenly evidence that your path is going a new direction. Clarity washes over you every time you realize you are forever divorced from this false entity. The universe speaks with clarity, not confusion, just as heavenly rain clears your energy field of any remaining uncertainties. You are not here by accident. Feel the pull tap. Join to find out the truth, your purpose, and a community that understands. This is not just a membership. It's your decision. You may connect with the eternal part of yourself by transcending human limitations and trusting in these heavenly teachings that come straight from the source energy. They appeal to the part of you that is aware of things other than reason, emotion, and training. You will maintain complete energy boundaries with anybody who thinks they have power over your soul. No exceptions. There are no temporary adjustments or concessions made based on a single talk. These directives come from the higher realms and are not limitations, but rather activations of your divine protecting systems. Their manipulating energy will try to rebuild the parasitic relationship that once took your life power. When you let even the smallest breach in your body's reaction to manipulative influences, you will learn to trust its wisdom. The tightness in your chest is heavenly protection against dishonesty, while the aching in your solar plexus is cosmic knowledge reminding you of your rights. These physiological feelings serve as a spiritual early warning system, and they are much more trustworthy than any intellectual theories your mind might construct to explain their behavior. You will learn that meaningful change in others does not need your permission, affirmation, or presence. True change does not end, regardless of the audience or the motive. When you set limits and someone abruptly claims enormous progress, they reveal their shift as staged rather than real. Having witnesses is not necessary for actual spiritual advancement. You will understand that your energy is your own sphere, and that others who have previously insulted it should not enter it. There is no divine imperative that requires you to give individuals who have breached sacred trust another chance. The cosmos does not operate in line with human justice standards, which state that everyone should have unfettered access to your personal space for divine protection. Certain doors must stay closed forever. You'll come to recognize that meaningful relationships never include ownership, entitlement, or possession. The divine connection extends rather than contracts, enhances rather than diminishes sovereignty, and celebrates liberty over captivity. When someone claims to be the cosmic owner of your soul, they expose themselves to be from the lowest vibrating plane of consciousness, which is marked by control, fear, and scarcity. You'll note that any personal connection, especially one that weakens rather than strengthens you, comes second to your spiritual goal. Anything that consistently draws you away from your ultimate objective is not only destructive, but it also directly violates your soul's contract with the universe. You come to this globe with celestial commitments that go beyond love, attachment, and human relationships. You'll remember that you have supernatural insight, which allows you to see deception that others may overlook. Knowledge that comes from your solar plexus does not need logical reasoning or external verification. It transcends the limits of human thinking, connecting directly to universal truth with no distortion or deceit. Put your trust in this spiritual insight above any claims made by others. It tells a lot about them, but nothing about you. That they can't accept your leaving when they just projected themselves onto you and never saw you. They cannot understand your rejection. They can't accept your decision because they've never valued your autonomy, and they can't digest your departure because they've never acknowledged your sovereignty. Their unrelenting pursuit is scary, not appealing. Their frequent allegations are disturbing, not romantic. It's pathology, not desire. When they can't respect your boundaries, what they call destiny is only a desperate relationship. They define connection as energy parasitism and love as narcissistic supply. They remember how your energy made them feel, rather than your unique energy. They yearn for the image of themselves that they once saw in your eyes, not for your own soul. They would rather possess a spiritual asset than collaborate with a sovereign human. This, however, is your holy duty, conferred directly by cosmic knowledge. Let go of this tie entirely, not just partially, not for 1 second, and not with the covert purpose of reconciling. This means that you should cut your power cables with considerable care and determination. Every emotional bond that keeps you linked to their frequency must be broken by conscious awareness and release. The mental connections that tether you to their energy must be destroyed with brutal resolve via intense meditation and spiritual power. You must remove the quantum entanglements that link your timeline to theirs, thus invalidating any spiritual contracts that have formed between your energies. This version is meant to help you progress rather than merely keep you safe. Every energy molecule extracted from a dead connection creates fuel for the future. Every ounce of attention you redirect from their misery serves as inspiration for your objective. Your next level blessings will not come from the universe as long as you hold on to even the flimsiest ties to things you have outgrown in the past. New portals may fully open. Cosmic law must be completely closed. Examine yourself through the eyes of celestial beings who are interested by your journey. Consider what others perceive when they look at you. A celestial alchemist who turns suffering into power. Betrayal inside boundaries. A sovereign authority that shattered generational expectations of receiving less than divine treatment. A celestial architect who constructs reality via intentional choice rather than thoughtless reaction. A heavenly channel whose self-esteem established new benchmarks for future generations. And a supernatural entity with acute insight. You are a revolutionary who opposes spiritual colonialism. not just someone who survived in a challenging relationship. You are a heavenly pioneer, paving the way for better soul care. Just like a cosmic warrior would defend your energy sector from attack. This is a global movement, not just personal development. Every line you draw reverberates in several dimensions. Every rule you follow establishes templates for the release of the whole. When you refuse to devalue yourself for the benefit of another, you disrupt cosmic patterns by severing the last links that bind you to this false being. Completely new universes appear in front of you. Opportunities that existed before. The interference field works like a barrier. Now fill in your experience. Connections that were previously blocked energetically may now manifest, and previously concealed avenues may become evident. Rather of striving to return you to obsolete energies, you begin to attract creatures that resonate with your true frequency. You seek interactions that broaden your horizons. Instead of limiting your expression, you pull resources that help you achieve your goal rather than exhaust it. Most importantly, you connect with your divine soul, that pristine celestial power that is impervious to external influences. You remember that you are spiritual energy, momentarily concentrated in physical form. Not only partaking in a spiritual event, accept this last message from the greatest level of your divine wisdom, not from any other authority. You will not enable someone to claim ownership of anything that was never theirs. Your energy is in control. Your path is sacred. Your selections are final. Your constraints are insurmountable. Your judgment is flawless. Your development is unstoppable, and your freedom is invincible. Allow this sentence to echo across time and space, infiltrating every facet of your being until it transcends belief and becomes knowledge. The ridiculous assertions of those who refuse to accept your divinity have no bearing on your destiny. Their failure to understand your departure does not obligate you to return, and their disrespect for your limits should not be weighed when making judgments. You are beyond their restricted perspective. They are entitled, possess manipulative power, and make desperate attempts to justify. You remember this. You own yourself, and that is all that matters. Remember this when old energies seek to resurface. Old patterns want to recreate themselves, and previous relationships must be re-examined. When you connect with your true self, the cosmos vibrates in perfect harmony. The divine rejoices as you completely embody the magnificent person you were created to be. The universe rejoices when you assert your full sovereign power. This is your era of total independence, the beginning of unrestrained growth and limitless options. Go through it now to forever put a stop to entitlement and dishonesty. On the other side, your actual cosmic family is excited to meet you, the genuine sovereign they have always known existed under the layers of other people's projections. Nobody can take away your autonomy, authority, sovereignty, or divinity.